The CD player, what can I say? It's on CD, we're not really playing, you know. very much. Appreciate that.
I'd like to introduce the band.
Oh, good. I like this part.
Okay. On keyboards and lead guitar, we have John Slough. On drums, we have Lee Simons. And on bass guitar, we have Adolph Swick. And I am Tina Williams, and we are Solution. Thank you for coming out today.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Northern Michigan Musicians Journal. This is show 6, and we went a little overtime in show 5 with our guest, Terry Senecal. So we're going to have her back today. She told us a little bit about her past, her history, and she is a songwriter and a musician. And today she's going to tell us about an organization that she started in Northern Michigan called the Michigan Musicians and Songwriters Association. And in fact, we had a little celebration on our 5th show, and something that was mentioned was that it was Mary's birthday just a few weeks previous, and also that it's a 1-year anniversary for the Michigan Musicians and Songwriters Association. So that was a good cake. So anyway, joining me here is my assistant Mary. Hi, Mary.
Okay. Hi, Adolph.
Since we're having the same guest on for a second time, we all wore the same clothes today, and so our guest feels comfortable, and I just was wondering, is there any new events in Traverse City? Last show you were talking about the Toastmasters and at Boyne Mountain, and that hasn't happened yet, has it? When is it going?
Yeah, with Boyne Mountain, we're supposed to have 2 special speakers, people who, because Toastmasters is an international organization, but our keynote speakers are coming from the last convention was at Palm Desert, California, and usually they have 2 keynote speakers who were past world champion speakers, and so they will be speaking. And then we have people who have represented the district who will be also doing some speaking too, like humorous speaking and extemporaneous, and one competition being called Tall Tales, so all you hunters and fishermen can maybe get involved with this, telling your biggest tall tale. And
well, something I'd point out is that this show might not be aired till after the Toastmasters have that event. When is it? April 29th?
30th and May 1st.
Oh, 3 days in a row. Okay. And so just a thought, but it.
Yep.
And wasn't there something about Moby Mats? Is that what they're called? That you
Yes, it is. That the Disability Network is still trying to work on the Moby Mat projects, which is plastic mix for disabled people. Finding their way down to the beach. Those who may be in wheelchairs, or they may be using white canes, just following the length of the map so they can get down to the water, and giving them an even surface so they have accessibility.
We'll run the address for the Disability Network.
Yes.
And so folks can contact them if you have more questions. And so we've got a lot of ground to cover at our show today. So
right.
One of the things we came across when going through Dear Abby columns was a little thing in the newspaper about musician jokes. So
okay.
And then you got a message from one of our viewers. So what shall we do first? You want to do?
We could do the viewer message.
The viewer message first. Okay, yeah.
A message from Jerry. I am watching your show on Charter 97. I have a request of Adolph or Dolph to tell us a quick band story. Jerry from Sheboygan, and he said, rock on.
Yeah, and we've been playing acoustic guitar, so we haven't gotten into rock and roll here, but I think most of us do love rock and roll. I do too. But and Jerry also referred to me as Dolph. When I get my next group of cards made out, I'm going to put Dolph on the card. It's about time to have a stage name. I've hung on to Adolph for a long time, stubbornly. We'll see if changing my stage name helps, because I do play all around Charlevoix, Petoskey, streets of Boyne, and moving on to the question of the story. I have a lot of good stories. I'm thinking of a short one today. This story is about, I had a wedding band called Soft Touch, and in the wintertime, around January and February, there aren't a lot of weddings, so we would play in the bar. And the bars didn't pay as well, but they were nice, because sometimes we'd play there 6 weeks in a row, so we could leave our equipment there, and we didn't have to load and unload before and after every gig. And there was a bar in Westland called Crazy Roses, and we were setting up. And when I was in charge of the PA, when I went to plug the PA in, one of the electrical prongs broke off, making it impossible to plug the PA in. We would have no sound, and everybody was totally terrified. What are we going to do now? How are we going to do this? And there is a drugstore across the street from Crazy Roses, and it hadn't closed yet. It was Lighthouse Drugs. I grew up near this place. In fact, Crazy Roses used to be called the Cocoa Lounge. So I know a little bit about the history, and I knew about Lighthouse Drugs. I ran across Middle Belt Road. I went inside and I bought a real cheap extension cord and some razors. And I ran back across the street, and a good band always has duct tape, and we had lots of duct tape. So I went inside, and everything was set up, but the PA wasn't working, and I cut off the old plug with the razor blade, and I stripped the wires with the razor blade. I curled them up, and I stuck them into the cheap extension cord. Then I taped that, and I gave everyone in the band a razor blade. And I says, okay, I'm going to plug this in. If the PA doesn't work, then you guys are going to have to commit hara-kiri. And I was joking, of course. I don't think they would have done it, because we were not a punk band. We were just playing oldies and top 40. And I plugged it in, and it worked. And so that was a ta-da. And we played that night. Everything was fine. And of course, I got home, and I got out the heavy-duty electrical equipment and put a new plug on to PA. So that's my story. That was exciting. And we wouldn't have had a PA if I hadn't thought of that.
That was sort of a emergency sort of first aid kit?
Yeah, well, from that point on, I carried electrical equipment and a new plug, because, you can buy those, and it's easy to put the plug on, and
okay.
We never had to do it again, though.
Okay, well, let's move on and do a few musician jokes.
Okay, let's see, how do we do this?
I could ask the question and you will do the answer.
Yeah, sure, okay, go ahead.
What's the difference between a musician and a mutual fund?
One will eventually mature and make some money.
Okay.
Ta-da! We need canned laughter, huh?
Drum beat. How do you make a duck into a soul singer?
How do you make a duck into a soul singer? Put the duck in the microwave until it's Bill Withers. I like that one, yeah.
What is the difference between a musician and a large pizza?
The difference between a musician and a large pizza can feed a family of 4. At least for one meal.
What does it say on a blues player's gravestone?
What does it say on a blues player's gravestone? I didn't wake up this morning. You have to play blues to catch that
Good
one,
one
I
for
guess.
our friend Rob.
Oh yeah, Rob. Hi, Rob. How you doing? Yeah, Rob's a new dad, Rob Johnson. He
Yeah.
plays up here in the summers.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's got Rob Jr. So, well, let's see.
Okay, a different one here too. What is the difference between a rock guitarist and a jazz guitarist?
Oh, this one's really not that funny. It's true. A jazz guitarist plays thousands of chords to a small group of people, and a rock guitarist plays 3 chords to thousands of people.
Okay, I can see that because in jazz you're changing chords really fast.
Oh yeah, well I play a little bit, but jazz is very challenging. You really have to be at the top of your game because they do play so many types of chords.
Okay, are we ready for the guests?
Yeah, I guess we are then. If wait a minute, now there was one more. The doorbell rang and the lady of the house discovered a workman with a tool chest on the front porch. Madame, he announced, I'm the piano tuner. And the lady exclaimed, I did not send for a piano tuner. And the man replied, I know you didn't, but your neighbors did. And that's the problems, you know, when you live in a neighborhood, when the houses are real close together. You got to be careful, you know. You might have an audience, and if you play well, they might invite you over instead of sending a piano tuner to see you.
Okay.
So we're going to have Terry Senecal back now, and we thank you very much. This is Northern Michigan Musicians Journal. Thanks, Mary.
Okay.
Hello, you're watching Northern Michigan Musicians Journal, and we have a guest, Terry Senecal. Before I get back with Terry, I just wanted to say that I jammed at the East Jordan Inn this last Tuesday, and Joe Krumholtz, the proprietor there, Joe was there, and he was our guest a couple shows ago. So wanted to mention that. Okay, we'd already had Terry on show 5. And we kept our same clothes so that we wouldn't get her too surprised with changes in the studio. And she played a little song for us that she's working on. And today we're going to ask her about this organization. She was a co-founder, is it?
No, I'm the founder.
You are the founder, okay. And what's the name of the organization?
It's called Michigan Songwriters and Musicians Association.
And
we are a nonprofit grassroots organization providing a platform for songwriters and musicians to perform in the community.
And what got the idea? How did you get started on this?
Well, I was originally the Michigan Songwriters Association when I moved to Michigan. From Nashville, Tennessee, I moved to Michigan and started the Michigan Songwriters.
Where? What city?
In Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah, and then from there, the Nashville Songwriters Association got wind of what I was doing. And so a year into it, we kind of put our forces together.
Okay.
And I became the Nashville Songwriters Association International Detroit Coordinator for 2 years. So I moved up here approximately a year ago. I'm new to the area and decided to, originally I was going to call it the Michigan Songwriters, and my membership representative, Judy Kuntz, is the one who said, well, we have to have the musician in here. So we ended up putting the word musician in here and called it the Michigan Songwriters and Musicians Association.
And I forget how I found out about this, but I'm a member now. I joined a month or two ago. And where do you meet? You have meetings once a month?
I think I remember, I think an individual let you know about
Bruce?
us. Hank.
Hank.
I think that you were in the producer class.
Oh, that's right.
And Hank
had
was
right here at Leah. That's right.
Yeah, Hank had mentioned it to you, and he has come to a couple of our meetings. So you probably heard it from Hank.
And Hank works with the casino.
Right.
Not the Turtle Creek. What's the
Leland.
The Sands.
Yeah, the Sands.
Yeah, great. Well, thanks, Hank.
Yeah.
So then, is there a cost to join?
Yeah, right now we're doing a membership drive until the end of this month. To the 30th of April, we're giving it at a student price, which is $25. After April, the normal price is $50, and then students is 25, and that's for the whole year.
And you were here for the last show, number 5, and we had a cake because we were celebrating show 5 and Mary's birthday,
Right.
which was a week before that, and then
couple weeks before.
And there was a third reason, because is this the 1-year anniversary?
Yeah, we've been doing this for a year this month. Actually, April 13th will be our 1-year anniversary with the association. So we're growing. We do have our meetings at Borders on the third Saturday. We
Borders
try to keep
Bookstore.
Yeah, we try to keep it consistent the third Saturday, and sometimes in the summer we do it during the week because some of our members play on the weekend. So
And the Borders
those are-
Bookstore is doing very well in Traverse City. I think people have heard that
Yes.
some of the Borders stores have been closed down. But when you go in there, there's lots of people. It's full of people, and some of them hear the music. And of course, you guys, I should say, because I'm a member, we don't play at every meeting. But when we play, the general public that's in the store is welcome, because it's right by the coffee shop, and there's chairs to sit and listen. You
Yeah.
could read a book, go on your computer, or
It's just
Just
a
watch.
nice ambiance, you know what I'm saying? Because, not only playing to ourselves, but, we can try out new stuff and because you have the consumer or the general public there.
yeah, we want
And
to thank
so-
Borders Books,
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
a great
they've been
place.
great. Yeah, and I brought you some information. So here's a brochure on some information about us, and then our next event, which is here, will be at Borders, and it's on Saturday, April 16th, from 7 to 9. So I'll
That's
give
a
you
Saturday.
that. Yep,
Yeah,
that
this is a
information.
really nice brochure, and you know that they are an official nonprofit 501c3,
That's correct.
which says a little bit, and we'll run the telephone number and the website. You have a website, right?
Yep, it's called www.themsma.org.
We'll
Yep.
put that information when
Okay.
we edit.
Yep.
And you promote homegrown Michigan talent.
Yep, that's what we're doing. And we have all genres of music and things like that. And so if you are grassroots and you're not sure if you're a musician or you're a songwriter or you're both, come to the meetings and, try out what it is that you're doing, because we're grassroots as well as we do have professionals within the organization as well. So, it gives a platform or a forum for people who, want to be creative, and, whether it's creative with other people or it's just to come out and do some networking with like-minded people who are creative. And so, we'll be having some music business classes starting in the summer at MMC. I spoke with the person today, and then we'll have a full 4-class schedule in the fall.
So that's not out published yet, but that's at Northern Michigan College.
Yep.
And it's going to be about what now, writing?
Writing. It's going to be about the business, breaking into the music business and just the business side of things. We all have this talent, but there's a lot of us out here that aren't sure how to get it from the business side. How to take the creative side and flow it over to the business side.
Yeah, music is a tough balance. Music, business, and pleasure.
Right. So if it's a copyright form, or how do you protect your stuff, or is it, how do I write a song? What is the song structure? Do I do ABAB? Just some sort of basic information to go by. So they're, if they don't want to go into a 4-year college degree, they can get some basic information from the association.
And you're growing too. You have a new chapter.
We have a new chapter starting in April 29th. We will have a Grand Rapids chapter starting, and they will meet monthly.
I met some of the people from Grand Rapids, but also the local talent. So we're going to try to get some of those folks on in our next future shows.
Yeah, that would be
Yes.
great. Yeah.
Because they're the definitely what we're looking for, because this is kind of for the unsung heroes, the musicians who've never played in public that wish they could, or maybe some have played in coffee shops, but they haven't really hit the big time in any way, and some people decide when you're 40 years old, I want to play the guitar, and some of them actually do succeed and get better at it, and they want to share it with others. And so this
Or
is a
they
good,
do open mics or farmers markets.
Yep. Yeah.
It's a great platform for, if you're new and you want to try a new song out, or even if you're a musician and you're not really sure, you come and play with others, or just find people to just tag up with, whether it's co-writing or whether it's just playing. You kind of have to start somewhere. So we have grassroots people and we have professionals. So, I welcome, all people in all genres.
Yeah, very good, yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the organization?
Yeah, we have some needs within the with every organization there is needs, and one of our needs is to have more performing opportunities for our members. So if there's someone out there who has a night where they need performers, whether it's a retirement party, whether it's just an open mic, whether it's we're looking for more performing opportunities for our members. So that's kind of a need for us, an immediate need for us right now within the organization. And of course, every organization needs new members. So that's why we're doing a membership drive right now.
Right.
Members and venues. And as far as venues, the first thing, of course, I think musicians and restaurant and bar owners think of as cha-ching. So are we talking about freebies?
Well, both. We're looking for paid and unpaid, because, it'd be nice to have a balance, but sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes, some of the restaurant owners, they don't have the money to pay the musician, So I even, mentioned, let's charge at the front door and give the front door costs to the musician.
Yeah.
Or let's put a tip jar in front and just, if people want to just tip the musician, there's that option as well. So then they're not placed with that burden of, I don't have the money to pay that artist.
And as far as customers too, I think you might draw some of the own members of the association, the Songwriters and Musicians Association, who will come to see their fellow members play. Right. So, you might get a little more audience that way too.
As well.
Because everyone's looking for a draw.
Yep.
It makes me think of that, I think it was a Fire Sign Theater album where they interviewed the bass player. He says, what do you think of while you're playing your bass? And the guy goes, well, I usually think of how many notes I'm playing per dollar, or something like that. My financial situation. So.
Yeah, because they can only afford a couch now, remember that.
Oh yeah,
That's
gotta have a couch.
The couch.
Yes.
So, if anything, we have to help them get their couch.
Yes, and buy it and bring a pizza home. And
There you go. So, as much as we can do for our members, we want to do it. So.
Well, it was nice having you on. Thanks for coming back for show number 6.
Thank you so much
and
for
I
having
hope you
me.
enjoyed the cake.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, very good.
So, well, thank you very much
Compliments to the chef.
Thank you for tuning in to Northern Michigan Musicians Journal on Channel 97.
I've been reaching for the hammer of hope. Think I'm one touch short